Hi everyone, good evening to this YouTube live. Pratham this side from Coding Ninjas, and I welcome you all to have the hiring process expert advice for easing hiring challenges. So today's speaker is Abhirami Sukumaran. She has altogether 16 years of experience in hands-on application development and leadership roles in the areas of database, master data management, and analytics. She is also working on Google as a developer advocate and Google Cloud Database and Storage. So I welcome Abhirami. Uh, hi Abhirami. It would be great if you can share your introduction with the students.
Thank you so much. Hi, everyone. I hope I'm clear, I'm audible, and visible. I'm so glad to be talking to you all on a Wednesday evening, 6 p.m. It's you're probably tired of long day, but thanks for staying back. Thanks for taking this effort to transform your career or to kickstart your career. My name is Abhirami Sukumaran. You probably would have seen the posters and other things that was shared by Coding Ninjas, and you can call me Abhi. So I have over 16 plus like 17 years now experience in the areas that of mostly data management, application development around data management, full stack development, um, predominantly focusing on Java as a programming language, J2E. I started off from a business intelligence background. I was working on, of course, that also comes with data. It also comes with data management, semantic layers, and stuff like that. So I was a database developer to begin with, and from there I grew into full stack because of the interest. I've always been keen on doing Java programming, and I've always been keen on building applications end to end, and take and drive data to impactful business decisions. In addition to doing business intelligence, in addition to visualizing, so that's how the journey started. After I got the job, of course, but before that, talking about the journey to career, which is our central point of focus today. Um, at that time, 16 and a half to 17 years ago, I mean, we had the awareness clearly about what was important from an aptitude perspective, or even from an attitude perspective, from the things, the concepts in technology that we needed to cover, the topics in software engineering that we needed to cover. Yes, we prepared for coding. We did some hacking some C programs and using some finding out bugs in Java programs, one page programs, code Java programs, C++, and programs like that, and finding bugs and fixing that, or doing some sample codes and things. There was not enough exposure in terms of the availability of platforms, or availability of hacking challenges or coding challenges like we have now. So it was always like, okay, this is how you do it. There were definitely there were some books, end to end, see, starting from the scratch and learning about applications, building some applications end to end, gaming solutions, or creating applications of your own, making impactful applications for any use case, for for your school or for your college, or whatever works for you at that point of time, to showcase your exposure. So that's how it started. In contrast, if you look at things, how things are right now, there are a lot of platforms, and of course there are specific ones like the ones that are provided or created with Coding Ninja. You can see so many opportunities in terms of hacking challenges, coding challenges, which will um, actually sculpt your path towards setting up your career, creating your career on your own. So even before you start your career, you can be clear of where you want to be, or if you want to be a full stack developer, if you want to be a database developer, or you're interested in DevOps, and stuff like that, so on and so forth. You are able to make up your mind, at least if you're in college right now, or if you're in early stages of your career, like 1 or 2 years or 3 years or anything under 5 years, because you're still you're still thinking about what works for you, or if this is comfortable for you, and comfortable in the sense, are you liking it, is it driving your everyday work? So you're still in that place. So if you're looking at things from that perspective, There are so many opportunities even within the platform that we're talking about today with Coding Ninja, and also there are other areas where you can just see participate in hackathons, write blogs about your implementations, share your experiences of coding. So many available opportunities that will place you above a bunch of other people who are not actually active in those things. So the opportunities are limitless. So that's where I was going with it. So going back to giving a brief introduction, which I was supposed to. I ended up talking about a lot of other things, but yeah, coming back to the point, I started off like that. It was aptitude, it was coding, software engineering concepts, database concepts. So all of that was integrated into the interview process and the preparation process, and design related concepts as well. So just like we have today. So that is how it started. And when I started off, I knew that this is I liked doing programming, I liked doing coding, and this is what I want the career to be. I would like to at least start off doing that, and probably follow a trajectory that is already built out. I didn't think beyond that at that point. I was like, okay, maybe I have to build something impactful, create something impactful, but there probably is a trajectory. And in my understanding, it was the same across the globe or across the board. But once you get into a corporate world, or at least at the time I joined with Infosys at that time. It's a possibility that there are only limited opportunities, or even if the opportunities are endless, you will be ending up in a team that requires you, that needs your attention, that needs your help. So what do you do in situations like that? So it's not always that you get to do what you want to do. In some cases, it's possible that I wanted to be a full stack developer, but I ended up beginning in business intelligence, which nurtured, which transformed, or which transformed some of my thought process, which I should agree. And it helped me understand the overall ecosystem of data, how data is being utilized, how what an impact it is creating. Even if I build a full stack application, ultimately it is going to consume the data. Ultimately it is going to use the data to deliver something meaningful, and how leadership and businesses are going to use that data in order to make that impact for either revenue wise or product wise or application wise or business wise. So that is something that was really interesting. And slowly but steadily, in terms of career progression or in terms of career transformation, I made sure that I moved on to things that I was always keen on doing or passionate about doing, whilst continuing to handhold or go alongside with data hand in hand. So that's why, since we are moving from a very application point of approach to things to data centered approach to things like AI, generative AI, and other stuff like today. So what helped me through this transformation or through this progress is embracing the change, embracing the contrast in the things that you get to work on, but still making sure that you're able to do what you're passionate about alongside. So that's how it began. Um, so with that, I have a structure of things that I want to discuss with you today before we jump into Q&A. But before that, I want to ask, did you have any other questions for me, Pratham, before we continue? Sorry, I was just making it silent.
Uh, yeah. Hi. So again, we are going for this thing. I believe students can ask their questions in the comment box. So again, Abhirami, that was a great introduction from your end, and for each and everything. I believe now we can start the session on how to hack the hiring process and what kind of things we have, and there will be a special announcement from your end. So we can go for that thing. Thank you.
Definitely. Yeah. Thank you, Pratham. So, when we heard the concept of hiring challenges or hacking challenges and stuff like that, we would think of probably what is a limitation, or what is wrong. How can I get through certain thing? What are the different stages of interviewing, or what are the stages of career progression or career initiation? So we would be thinking of stuff like that. But let me tell you, the concept here that we're talking about, the hiring challenges or coding challenges and all those things, or hacking the hiring process mainly, um, is no matter what domain you want to be in or specialize in, which you can eventually choose. Or if you're already a working professional, you're already you know, 3 or 4 years into the career, you still are looking for transformation, that is something you can choose. But nowadays, the theme or the way companies operate is to know whether you're ready hands on. Are you hands on some of the things that you claim that you know? Or what is a common, what is a baseline methodology with which they can assess all the candidates, all the applicants equally, without one getting more advantage over the other, just because of the choice of domain, the choice of the domain, or just because of the or role that they have opted for. So because of these things, there is always a baseline method of, if it's in technology, if it's an engineering ladder, or if it's in the product ladder, of anything that is hands on ladder, anything in the technology ladder, will go through similar set of the grinding and coding process. So that is what we're going to mainly focus on today. But before jumping into that, the structure that I had in mind was something that I usually talk about when I talk about career is where you are right now. Before you prepare for the interview, like before you actually give your interviews or go into a telephonic round or a hands-on coding round or a walk-in round, what you need to prepare for, like what is your mindset, what are the things that you want to prepare for, and how is your resume, or how are you approaching? Did you get the call already, or you're thinking that you will go and approach, or you're waiting for people to take notice? So the pre-interview positioning of your thing, so that is stage one. Stage two is the actual interview process, and stage three is how do you communicate, like what exactly do you do afterwards, whether with the response. I'm not going to go into like how you respond or how you talk about what role you want and all that. I'll just give you a glimpse of what happens after that. Once you're in the interview, whether you're through or not, where do you go from there? So that's what we'll discuss. The first one right here that I want to quickly touch base on is the pre-interview round. So this is where you know whether you're prepared, or the interviewers have approached you, or you are planning to approach them. So what I would say is, if you are part of a group that participates in hacking challenges, or if you have some platform like that in your university or college, or even if you're a working professional, if you're following platform like Coding Ninja, where they have Code Studio, if you look at all the options that they have, from beginner to intermediate to expert, like ninja level coding problems and other things, if you're someone who consistently does that, make sure you do that, and speak, expose yourself, speak about your experience doing that, right? For example, if you implement an application, one page application, or if you have cleared all the easy or the beginner stage, write about it. Say that you have completed this, and these are the challenges you faced. This is how comfortable you are. Or write about a concept. For instance, if you want to talk about stacks or arrays or something like a hash map, when it comes to like coding specific round, talk about that, whether whichever platform it is. It doesn't just have to be Java or Python, it could be anything. Nowadays, even some of the cloud applications, SaaS applications, they involve a lot of coding, so many different things. But whatever it is, the foundation remains the same. Don't think of it like, do I have to do coding to get to do DevOps job on a day-to-day basis? May or may not. You may have to innovate, you may have to do some automation, you may have to code. Or even if you're a software engineer, am I going to use this binary tree in my day-to-day work? Am I going to use this linked list in my day-to-day work? The answer is, you may or may not use it depending on your use case for that day. But end of the day, it'll end up making you a fine developer or a fine coder or an engineer, rather than just being, okay, this is what I've developed. You will end up developing optimized and efficient code, which will surprise yourself. So that is definitely needed, so approach it that way. Don't just do it for the sake of getting a job, do it for the sake of becoming better engineers, and if you're really keen and passionate about it. Now, is it important for all the roles? If it is technical and if your role aligns to one of these things that has a coding interview, then yes, this is something you have to go through. If you have the interest, obviously you have the interest, and that is why you're in the session. Obviously, you have the interest, and that is why you're appearing for those roles. So definitely you will go through those things. Now, the next thing is writing about these concepts, write about like linked list, talk about that, write a blog about it. Many students or other working professionals, early stage, or people who have not gone through this in their college days and looking to equip themselves with things like this, will be interested in reading that. Now, why is that helpful? Is it only going to help you? getting that knowledge. No, it's going to help others, but at the same time it'll help you by making you noticeable for the recruiters, the teams that are hunting for people. They will know that you probably will suit, or you'll probably be a best fit for their company, because it's a culture, right, you're bringing in. So do that for sure. So reaching out recruiters, or reaching out referrals and all those things are definitely important. That is one thing. But the other thing is getting that notice, getting that attention from recruiters, standing out of the crowd. These are some of the ways you can do it. So standing out of the crowd and getting their attention by yourself and tracking through, that is the space that you want to be in. And when you're preparing your resume, make sure that you speak about the impact that you're creating, and not just saying I have used Java to do this, and I've used something like, let's say, Cloud Run to deploy this. Don't say that. Create an impact. This is the impact that I've created. I've reduced the deployment time of an application from 3 days to 3 minutes or 3 hours by doing this, and this is the programming language of my choice. And stuff like that. And I've eliminated upgrades by providing a great design, a database design, using Google Cloud for that matter, or using Cloud Spanner for that matter. So make sure your resume covers stuff like that, because that is really critical in having an impact driven presentation of yourself. So that is the pre-staging, the pre-interview part of it. Again, like I said, for preparations, go for a platforms like Code Studio. The link is there in chat, which Pratham has shared. And there's an announcement too alongside that I want to make, which I'll hold off after till the second and third. After I complete that, I'll talk about that too, where you can actually sign up for coding challenges. But before that, let me cover the second part, which is the actual interview process. So for the actual interview process, again, while you're preparing for the interview, you got the you noticed, you got the selection, you got the referral, or you're going to appear for the interview. Now what next? It's actually preparing for the interview, right? Whiteboard is one thing. Whiteboard all your coding solutions, like whatever it is. Let's say, like, list out all the topics that you want to cover. Right, list out all the topics that you want to cover for the interview. Whether it's you're a 3 month, you have 3 months before the interview to prepare, or you have 6 months, or you have 1 month, or you have 15 days. Make sure you spend that many hours, and for the number of days that you have left before the actual interview, the day of interview. So divide and conquer, like basically choose which topics are easier, how many you can solve. So make sure you do at least 25 to 30 exercises or programming challenges in easy, medium, and hard or difficult ninja level, in all these concepts that you want to cover. Now, there may be concepts which you do not understand, and there are people like Kale McDowell and other coders who are like very nice in explaining the concepts. Even things which are very difficult. I remember following a couple of them on YouTube to just understand some things that I did not initially understand. So pick and choose your whichever format you like, whether it's video, or books, or whichever it is that works for you. And even you can continue. Don't memorize code. Try to understand how it's achieved. If there is a concept that you don't understand and it's not at all possible for you, just ignore it. Don't try to memorize it and complicate your life so much. Just understand how to solve, or ask someone who does it. Or there is so much material in YouTube, and so many session people that you can reach out to and ask how to solve this or how this works. So definitely go for all those things. So prepare for the coding hands-on part, and when you're preparing, make sure you're whiteboarding. Don't just use some IDEs, because when you use IDEs, it will suggest syntax and everything at the time of interview, where you have to actually write code in docs, Google Docs, or in some other platform that they're providing to you. It might be a challenge because you will not know, there won't be an auto suggest, so you'll be stuck. So what I would say is try whiteboarding, or use Code Studio and platform like that, where you are able to type in without the help of any suggester. So that way you are very thorough and very fluent in the programming language of your choice and syntax. Now, is it necessary that there should not be even a single syntax mistake? No, that's not the case. But make sure you're not stuck even at basic things, right? So that should not be. Don't get accustomed to getting help while coding. So that's what I mean. So whiteboard your ideas. Always have alternate solution. The solution that you can think of is always the easiest, because that comes to you the first. And then think of an optimal way. First, narrate that. Speak up while you're coding during the interview. Like if I'm the interviewer and you are giving an interview to me, I will ask you a coding question. You can ask clarification questions. I will explain. If you don't understand, ask again. Give explain that what you've understood with an example to me. That is also fine. Take the time that you need in order to understand that. And while you're writing the code, first make sure you have the path laid out and say this is how you're going to approach it, and make me understand the approach, and then start coding. Because if you're lost midway, then you have to start from the scratch. So this is always the best approach. Think about what you're going to do and explain, and don't go into a corner muting yourself up in the concept of, or in the process of thinking so much. Always think out loud, because I will definitely, as an interviewer, maybe help able to help you with your ideas. But if you don't talk to me, if you're stuck somewhere, if you're just thinking on your own, then that would be a problem. So this is a hypothetical situation if I'm your interviewer, and this is how it would go. And that will help across the board, whichever company you're interviewing for. It's always helpful to have that open conversation and be bold with your ideas. Say this is how you're going to approach. If you make a mistake, think where you can fix it. Now, once you complete the coding, there may be some issues. So take a sample, test data, positive and negative case, and make sure your data flows through your code and you're able to successfully show the result. Now, the last part is everything is done, you've completed, or you've not completed. This is one approach. Think of alternate ways to do that, more optimal ways to do that. Like if you're using stack, or if you're using some other let's say I'm using array, or I'm using some other data type, right? Then if I want to replace that with a hash map, how much I mean, can I do that? Can I make this change and make this code even efficient? So make changes like that in your code, and also present that as an alternate approach. So definitely that will have a good impression on your profile when you're interviewing. Ask questions, and make sure the interviewer is on the same page. Don't keep like don't keep talking to yours like don't just stonewall yourself. Don't go on a mute mode at the same time. Don't just keep talking. Always listen to the interviewer as well, but at the same time make sure there is an open two-way conversation. So this is for the during the interview process. And like I said, whiteboard it, write it down. Design. As much as you think you know a lot of things, make sure you watch a lot of things, you listen to a lot of things. The more you listen to ideas, the more you listen to concepts or multiple ways to solve a certain problem, terminologies, latest terminologies or cloud technologies, that you keep listening to it, the more you'll be able to easily give architectural solutions to any design question that's being presented to you. So watch and listen to as much as content that is out there. Just take a look at designing different platforms and see what all you can change in it in order to make it better. You can try it out too. Now, one other thing that I want to highlight is whether it is before the interview or during the interview, it is always good to stand out in your profile by talking about impact-driven accomplishments. For example, as an interviewer in the past organization too, um, I have hired team members for my team, but the people who I have selected were always not just the best in terms of answering conceptual questions or solving a particular problem. Obviously, all these things that I said so far, like interactive discussion of the code, not necessarily, I did not just look at if they finished the code. I looked at how they approached it, even if the last part is not done, how they approached it. So that was very critical for me. But still, it's good to complete it, because if there are two people who are good at explaining and being interactive, and if one of them completed the code and the other didn't, obviously the one who completed the code will have a upper hand. So make sure that you practice so much that you can stick to the time. What I was going to say is, if you stand out in terms of the um, applications that you've created, whether like I said before, right? So if you're building an application for some cause, or if it is for some impact where for your customer, for your business, or for your own team, like automating a problem which ended up saving 48 hours of your team's manual effort and ended up giving them back 2 days time, 2 days effort, so they can focus on other important things. Now you have to present your work in an impactful way, in terms of numbers, in terms of not just numbers, but in terms of impactful numbers. So that will really put your profile out of the group. So definitely make sure you focus on those kind of implementations and discussions, whether it's coding or hands-on, or if it's design, right? Now, the last stage of it is after that, whether like listening to the result, or whether you're moving on from there, like, or you're through now, what you're going to do and all those things. So obviously there'll be discussions in terms of there are so many discussions. Your team discussions will be there. There will be discussion around your compensation. So all those things you'll handle. Definitely, there is so much resource out there to understand how to best communicate in terms of compensation, how to best communicate in terms of the role and the level that you want. So be aware, ask the right questions, make sure you're up to date with the kind of technology that the company is building, or the products that they're working on and why they're doing certain things. So be genuine with your questions, be genuine with your comments. Don't just make comments or make questions for the sake of it, because definitely they'll see through it and it'll reflect bad on you if you're just asking some questions to just irk the interviewer, or you're asking some questions that are just for the sake of uh, encouraging or for the sake of praising the company. Don't do things like that. Genuinely, if you like the vision statement of the company, make sure you're aware of the vision statement, so make sure you present all those things. So this is for the not just I'm talking about the part where you're done with the coding interviews and then going through like leadership and questions like behavioral round, presentation rounds, depending on the level you're interviewing for. If you're a beginner, there'll be a different kind of rounds, behavioral and all. And if you're a seasoned or a professional who has a good number of years, then your rounds will be different. And if you're a seasoned leader kind of role, then you'll have leadership roles depending on the level you're interviewing for. Make sure you are aware of the kind of prepare and watch. There are platforms that will give you like these are the kind of interview questions, or these are the kind of behavioral questions. In some cases, the recruiting team itself will provide you with enough information as to what to be aware of. They'll give you the principles and guidelines that you will be adhering to or answering, that they will be evaluating you based on. So they've given you the answer key. You just have to come up with use cases from your own experience and your life to share with that. For instance, if they ask you about tell me about a time kind of question, make sure you list everything down beforehand, right? Like, I'm not saying copy the answer and read it. That's not what I'm saying. But have a journal with you and keep writing about all these things when you're preparing. So you have leadership related questions and scenarios based answers. You have what if kind of questions and answers. You have tell me about a time kind of questions and your situations. Be honest. Don't make up stories and then get caught. If you don't have any experience to share, there are situations where where you can imagine and tell things that you would like to do. That is okay, but make sure that you don't lose track of your own story, right? So be aware of all that. That's why preparation is important, even for behavioral leadership and presentation rounds. Preparation is the key, because questions are out there, and the principles, the guiding principles, everything is out there. All you need to do is put your use cases against it. Again, these rounds are very critical for people to evaluate your red flags. So even if you don't have an impressive story, make sure you're not telling something that's scary for them, right? Don't say something that stands out as a red flag. So be aware of things like that. Read stories. Like, there are so many stories like that out there. When you're preparing, you will see all kind of funny stories that will actually trigger you, that will actually may help you prepare and narrate the right story when you're interviewing. So definitely that is one thing. Enjoy the process, most importantly. Because you're interested in coding, because you're interested in technology, you're here today and you're taking this journey. You're here with Coding Ninja, you're here with the Code Studio. So all these things, but so enjoy the journey. Don't take it up as a pressure. Don't approach the interview process as like I as yeah, of course you need to prepare as if your life depends on it, but you don't have to prepare like oh my god, I have to do this. Then that will ruin the whole thing. Enjoy the process of learning through it. Like coding, if when I was preparing for the coding rounds, of course I locked myself up for 3 months when I was preparing for Google, and I was solving all sorts of even for whatever level you apply for. There are certain if you're in a technology ladder, there are certain levels until which or certain levels beyond which also you have that kind of rounds. You have technology rounds, you have coding rounds, leadership, all those rounds I had as well. But during that coding round, I enjoyed going from a beginner level to an intermediate level. To I enjoy, if I'm able to solve one expert level coding problem, I'd be so happy. One or two. So all nights, all days I spent in enjoying the process. So I would recommend you to think of it that way. That way you're not burnt out in the effort. The next thing is uh, one other thing. Yeah, people may be thinking about, okay, I just want to do cloud related work. I There are companies who do not follow the standard process of coding or this kind of interview. There are companies where your interviewing process depends on what applications you have built in a specific tool or a specific database or a specific platform or a cloud platform. For example, you may be interested in launching your cloud journey or launching a cloud program. Say Google Cloud has a laid out certification program or career path, which you can start off as a cloud developer and become an architect and grow. You can set up your own path, whether it's in the database side, data engineering side, data science or analytics track, or it is in the development application development track or DevOps track. So there are so many tracks. You can launch your career in cloud in any of these tracks, even without going through the other path, or even after going through the other path in the middle of your career. If you want to do that, you can definitely do all those things. There is a learning a channel for you where you can learn about this. Some people are interested, and which is also some people are encouraged to do the certifications. Choose your path, and whichever sticks the most with you, whichever drives your passion or whichever drives your everyday goals, then definitely go choose that track and continue to complete that. Again, even there, even for cloud, Google Cloud certifications also, depending on the learning path you choose, data or application or DevOps, or ML or AI, or sorry, ML or AI, depending on the track you choose, whether don't memorize the answers, don't just go for Q&A, go for use case based case studies. Like, this is the use case. If a customer is facing this, this is how I will solve it. So learning it that way will help you not only gain a certification, of course you'll clear it, but at the same time you'll also gain the industry experience that you need without even having to actually have the industry experience throughout your career. Maybe you've been in, let's say, manual testing or automation testing throughout, and you want the opportunity to move to cloud, or you're in reporting visualization team and you want to move to cloud technology development or anything in cloud, then you're choosing this. That doesn't mean that you don't have the experience. You are doing the certification and you're also learning how to impact your customer or the solutions or the architecture through the process. So learn in a way that you understand the why and what behind it, rather than just, okay, this is the question, this is the answer, right? So that is something I wanted to share. So quickly I'll wrap it up, and the last thing I want to bring out, which is the highlight of the day, and the thing that I wanted to talk about, is Code Kazi, the biggest online hiring challenge that is coming up with, as part of Coding Ninja's program that is being launched. Um, so some key highlights over there is the dates. So let me just give you the dates exactly. Sorry if I'll be referencing my phone for that. Um, yeah. So 10th June, you will have round one, aptitude based multiple choice questions, and round two will be on 17th June, which is the coding based round. So you have the event details as round one and round two, 10th June and 17th June, things that you need to be aware of. And the top 5,000 students participating in that, their resume will be forwarded to certain companies like Policy Bazaar, Cast 24, Flutura, Zelta, and and yeah, Wisdom Labs, Pratistan, and companies like that. So make use of this opportunity. You have not just a coding challenge, you have also an opportunity for your resume to be placed or forwarded to companies like this, and on top of that you have Code Studio, where you can actually prepare for all these things. So make sure you do all those things, and I request Pratham to share the details and links to that, so they can go directly and apply or take a look at that. um, just an add-on which I read about it after Pratham shared that with me, is that people who got through these offers, these companies, or this opportunity last year, were offered average starting CTC of 9 lakhs per annum, and 4,000 plus colleges participated with 100 students placed. So 100 plus students placed. So make use of that opportunity. So that is something that Coding Ninja and Code Kazi together they are launching, and I wanted to take this opportunity to also announce it for them as I'm doing this. So yeah, that's all I had. And Pratham, if you want to share the links and then open it up for Q&A, we are good in time.
Uh, okay. Thanks for sharing the details. I just want to add on a few things. Guys, you can see the link. It is pinned also in the description box of this YouTube live. And again, about the Codekaze event, it is organized by Coding Ninjas and in collaboration with Naukri.com. So there will be many companies. Last year also, 50 plus companies participated, partnered with us, and this time there are more companies coming up. And the average package we are talking about will be 9 LPA. So apart from that, there will be many cash reward up to 3 lakhs of cash rewards we are providing. There can be a cash, merchandise, and various goodies also. So please use this opportunity and please get it as a chance to get hired by a top company, get hired as a full-time role for internships also, and please utilize. And regarding all of the things, regarding studying the aptitude test, regarding the practice of coding rounds, you can come to the code studio and can practice. You can find the link of code studio in the comments itself. And yeah, that's all. Thank you.
So where can I see the questions in this comment section or? Oh yeah, I see the comment section here. So before going into that, let me also share my socials. It is there in abhirami.dev. ABIRAMI. It's not ABHI, it's ABIRAMI.dev. So that has links to my socials. It has some blogs about cloud database full stack applications if you're interested in that once your coding process and all is through, and if you're willing to learn cloud Google Cloud technologies and work on full stack, please feel free to reference those blogs. Please feel free to present your learning in some platforms like that. You can always reach out to me if you have an implementation in Google Cloud or something that in Java or Python or any programming language of your choice that aligns that also extends to Google. If you also extend Google Cloud to the solution, then definitely I will give you a platform to. I mean, not me personally, like as part of the Google Cloud's Medium publication. If yours is chosen, it will get published as well, and you can share it in your LinkedIn profiles as well. Once, if it's through, we have a team that screens the content that comes in. So definitely feel free to share your experience or share your code or share your solution that you've done using Google Cloud in one of your favorite languages. So that's something I wanted to share too. Yeah, abhirami.dev is the link that has all my socials. So one questions from the beginning. So where do I start? I'll start from DSA topics. Which topics? There is no specific topic to pinpoint. You have to go through data structures and algorithms. Like I said before, make sure you incorporate the data structures that you learn in as you're coding. Like if you're used to coding just using arrays or something, try to replace that with hash maps, for instance, or try to replace with some other data structure or use stack or linked list, and try to solve the problems that way. There is always an easy way to do it and also an optimal way to do it. So try that out with algorithms. Yes, you need to be familiar. You need to understand. If you don't understand a specific algorithm, look up material and people who have put out some content on YouTube specifically on some of these algorithms, which are very clear to understand. So yeah, that should help you. End of the day, it is, even if you're presenting a solution in a specific method and using an algorithm that you understand, but you feel that there is a better algorithm out there but you don't understand that, you can always mention that and say theoretically this is how it works. But I'm at the moment I'm not very comfortable coding in that, but I'm using this algorithm to solve the same problem. So definitely you can do that, but make sure first you reference all this material that's out there. um, Umar Farooq, what do you mean by an impact? When I say impact, it like I said, how many development hours have you reduced by automating something, or how many manual hours of patches or updates from on to Google to some of your databases that you've eliminated by moving to a fully managed Google Cloud database or some other database for that matter. Like, what is your role in that? How have, if you designed it, say that you designed an architecture which eliminated the manual effort. So that is an impact to your DevOps team. Another method of an impact could be you built an application. ML application, a prediction application that will say 6 months out from now, you'll probably see a lot of system errors, system failures, or your system will crash after these many months, because you're not set up for these patches or updates yet. So something like that. Or you built a prediction mechanism where you can talk about this will be your revenue, this will be your return on investment after 3 months and stuff like that. And this will be your attrition rate, or this will be your customer engagement, or your scalability. Currently you are at 20 users per day because you've just started, it is a startup. But the prediction is that this will scale to 2 million users by the end of the quarter or something like that. So you're building an application that predicts that, and you're able to achieve that using not just achieve that, if you're able to say that okay, you will have an application that needs to be scaled for 2 million users, you're preventing your product or your company from facing that failure of not being able to meet the new demand by proactively giving a recommendation 6 months ahead of time. So that is an impact. So this is just an example I'm saying. If you're a student and you haven't had an opportunity to provide an impact at an enterprise level, you can always say count for impacts in your group or applications that you've built. The person that I've hired in my previous company, in the in the team that I was in the org that I was leading, um, some of the applications they are from an ML data background, but they built applications for traffic cops to help with some real world use case. So that really stood out for me because it was creating an impact to the real world using technology, and they used all the technology that I was looking for at that point of time, and they were able to explain it technically. They were able to explain the architecture, and they owned their solution. So that is an impact. Briefly explain. Okay, impact I've already explained. Sixth sem student, same thing. You can create real world impacts with project. I am not Malayali. How to get screened? Okay, I already addressed this question. I talked about how to stand out, especially in screen, being your interview screen. Like, be present. Let the recruiters reach out to you by exposing your learning, by writing about the, even if it is a one-page code that you've written. If there is something you can write about it, if there is an algorithm that you understand that other people don't, try to write about it. Be heard, be out there, and let them reach out to you. Um, Interview calls, best product companies, not from engineering background. Yeah, I don't think that should stop you. It is about how you present yourself in platforms, in professional career platforms like LinkedIn and other Naukri and other platforms like that. It is how you present your profile, and also how visible you are. I'm not saying keep making noise about or reposting things. It is also important, but then not necessarily. What is important is what you're able to showcase for yourself in terms of impactful, again, applications, in terms of technologies, use of technology to solve something. So that is how you will get attention. If it is a research based purely technology oriented solution and there is no application yet, you can still talk about. If you don't understand it, this is how it works, right? So you can, like, for example, something about quantum computing, you don't know how to use it, but you understood that. Then write about it. Then do a small one page code and say this is how you can use this API to do something, and this is what I've done for quantum computing. I'm just making this up, but yeah. So many people don't know it. So if you're writing about it, there is, if that is your interest, again, then you will be noticed for companies that are looking for people in that background, right? So definitely be noticed, be heard, and let them come to you. That's the best way to be screened or reached out to. And again, you can always reach out to referrals. You can always look for opportunities like this with Codekazi, where you have your resume sent. If you are in the top 4,000, your resume is being sent. So make use of all this exposure and opportunities available these days. So keep on the watch or lookout for things like this. So that is something that will really help as a student. For professionals, yes, of course, getting noticed. If they are interested too, depending on how much time they have, they can also do these coding challenges. Aptitude coding or go for data structure. Both are important, Himanshu. Or if you're saying aptitude, comma, coding, or DS, all three are important. I don't know how much aptitude questions in nowadays you have in interview process. Of course, they check your attitude, they check the way you're approaching things. Always be sure of one other thing, which probably if we have time, I'll address this. This is more of a personality thing when you're attending interviews, but I'll come to that later. But yeah, all of those are important. Um, that is addressed. Using DSA, how can we make a super effective project which can make a probability to select? See, using DSA, there are two ways again. You can, if you're a student, Kavita, you can talk about the things that you've understood and how much time it saves. Sorry, just give me a second. I'll put the charger in. Yeah. You can talk about how much time you can save by replacing a specific data structure or a specific algorithm with a better one, with an optimal one, and you can write an analysis or a case study about that. Or you can build a regular application and say, for people who want to deep dive into the coding part, this is what I've used and this is why I've used it. So that's how you um, make super effective projects like that. Write about it and get noticed. Data science, DSA is important or not? DSA is important if you want to be a good engineer, if you want to be an efficient engineer, I would say. Data science is is a branch of your career, is a branch of the whole life cycle of the product or the application or the industry that you choose. But if you choose to be a data scientist from the beginning, nowadays, even for that, the companies that you're looking for, or at least what you've listed in this chat today, they will still look for DSAs, if I'm not wrong. So yeah, it's not going to harm you in any way if you are an efficient engineer, because even as a data scientist, you will write coding, you will write stuff which in more than ever it will be more useful for you as a data scientist, because you're not dealing with applications just like transactionally. You're looking at analytical applications which will have terabyte scale data. So it is important that you code efficiently. Impressing HR, I'll just talk about the personality part towards the end. How to prepare for coding rounds, we discussed about this. We discussed about shortlisting, getting shortlisted. Job opportunities as a fresher, unless your college provides that platform, interviewing platform for you, or campus selection platforms for you, unless that is the case, definitely keep looking out for opportunities like this, where you can be part of these coding platforms, or you can be part of challenges like Codekazi 2023 and stuff like that, where you get all these opportunities. This is really great. This is honestly great. If there are even like 10,000 people, like at least 50%, the top 50% or 40%, if I'm not wrong, don't quote me, but are getting an opportunity to get directly referred, if I'm not wrong, to companies of certain choice. So that is an option. Participate in hackathons outside. And there's one other thing which I wanted to highlight. I forgot. If you go to abhirami.dev, also you'll find this thing called Code Vipassana, which I conduct. Season one is complete. We are doing season two. We are getting started soon, towards the end of May, last week of May. Dates are yet to be announced. So if you land on abhirami.dev, on the connections part, socials part, you have a meetup group link that I host. So if you join the meetup group, you'll see the updates for that. Those are like hands-on coding sessions and discussions. Season 2 is purely ML AI based. We have 3 sessions, one per week. So we will not be talking or discussing much. It will be, I don't know if some of you might have attended the session. It will be like focused coding. There will be instructions provided to you. You'll be following the instruction, and at the end of the session, you will complete one application. It's only a 1 hour session, out of which only a half an hour to 40 minutes will be coding. Remaining time towards the end will be Q&A. And Q&A in the sense just to see how to proceed and what is next. And the first 5-10 minutes to set up, to log in to Google Cloud Console and all. So if you're interested, please sign up for the meetup group. You will see the updates there. And once the event is announced, you can RSVP and join the event. The finale will happen in collaboration with Google Developer Group Mumbai. And definitely there will be hands-on. Not, it's not like a hackathon. You will be provided instructions, but if you're able to complete it, the top 4 or 5 will get some swags. But definitely it's an interactive The best part about that is you will network with like-minded people on the chat also. So as part of season 1, people were able to talk to each other after the session. They were solving each other's coding problems. So if you don't understand an algorithm, you will find your best buddy there who can help you out. So definitely join the meetup group and talk to people over there, talk about coding, talk about cloud and AI and ML. So that's an opportunity. So please join that. If you're interested, take a look at that, and if it interests you, join the Datapreneur Social meetup group. The link is there in my abhirami.dev social. I wanted to say that because we're talking about coding anyway. Um, what type of balance is needed? DSA and development. DSA is part of development, so you don't look at it differently. That's what I'm saying. Once you prepare for these coding challenges and do all these, see, first solve all the easy problems. For example, like as a result of this today's session, go back home, log into Code Studio, try to address or tackle, at least take 5 concepts, 5 algorithms, or 5 data structures, and make sure you solve all the easy problems, and see how good you feel the next time you write a program or write code for something. You won't even feel like writing it the wrong way or the easy way. You'll always write it the right way. Trust me, if you don't believe me, try it out. Go log into Code Studio, solve at least 5 to 10 easy problems tonight or tomorrow. See how it transforms the way you think. So you will not look at these two things differently. That happened to me. So um non-IT experience, I'm preparing for software developer jobs. Non-IT, all experience you can showcase. It is, see, it is how you transform or how you showcase that for the role that you're applying. The same thing that you have done for automating a DevOps operation, or let's say you upgraded, or let's say you influenced marketing. You influenced marketing for a specific startup or a product. Now, how can you showcase that in a software developer job? You say that you understood the problem. You say that you were able to think critically and choose, like, segment the audience the right way, and you were able to apply. Of course, you won't be able to say full stack application developer or something. You can talk about data, like how you use data to come up with the right approach to, like, which kind of influencer. How did you segment the audience? How did you segment the users? How did you segment the targeted influencers? Like, how did you approach that this particular woman or this particular group or product will be the right influencing route for your application or product that you're marketing, right? So what did you use to design that process, or what did you use to design that segmentation, is something you can showcase. So definitely all experience can be presented in a way that is applicable for the role you are applying for. Make sure how to talk about it, how to write about it. Nowadays there is AI to tweak things the way you want and tell you, or talk to you in a way that, or give you description, even if you don't, are not good at it. If you're able to access it, I don't know if it's available for all Bangalore or India users yet, but try out Bard for that matter. Ask Bard, hey, can you rephrase this in a way that I can showcase this? So I do that sometimes when I don't know what to say. Does company hire for data engineer role as a fresher? It depends. Startups do, if you have the passion for it and you can show some case of a strong case of what you have accomplished in that area. Like, say, you use data engineering concepts, like built pipelines to take terabyte scale data, or no, not have to be terabyte, but say, depending on whatever size it is, you can say this is the talk about size of data that you're handling, and how you cleansed it, prepared it, used integration mechanism and pipeline it, used data proc and stuff like that in Google, or how you used cloud to transform that into and into your analytical database system, or like BigQuery for that matter, or how you used SQL queries to just write to do ML on top of that. So all those things you can showcase. And I don't know whether only startups, or there are companies which will definitely respect you for the, or choose you for the kind of experience and passion you have. Even if you don't have an industry experience, you can always talk for the implementations that you have done. If you're passionate enough about a certain thing, then go ahead and build out solutions. You will get free credits. For instance, as part of the code vipassana sessions and all, I give out links which the audience, of course, the team, as part of Google's team, we have onboarding the developers credits and all. So you will get those cloud credits which you can use to build. So you can use that and ask for an extension, or reach out to, if it's possible, we can even arrange for some kind of an extension if it's applicable for the use case. And if you are building something that is relevant, definitely that can be arranged, and you can end up doing specific projects just for yourself, but present that in a way that showcases your experience. That way, it not only shows your passion but also your skill in building that pipeline. So yes, why not? I would say why not. Don't just go by the profile that they're looking for. Always reach out and say this is what you have done and this is what you can do. So nowadays the thing is, um, hiring process is not black and white only. You always reach out, you always explain. There are always exceptions, right? um, we spoke about resume, we spoke about shortlisting, we spoke about the DSAs. DSAs, if you're doing backend development, do some understand the concept of databases, understand the concept of basic SQL querying, understand how to design databases, how to choose the right constructs for it. Yes, it is important if you're applying for backend developer position. So look for what role you are interested in, and before applying, ask for some time, preparation time, and during that time, approach the preparation in such a way that you don't just randomly prepare for something in generic, but also the recruiting team will definitely give you information about what you need to prepare. In some cases, they go to the extent of telling you, look at these questions and prepare be this not like this is a question you'll be asked, but they'll say on the lines of these questions. So definitely prepare yourself for those things, because I know of some analyst roles and other things and tier 1 companies that will ask queries and ask you to do algorithms and stuff like that in database development, so using SQL queries. So yeah, make sure you choose you read the profile properly and you know what you want to do. Don't just go by what opportunity is presented to you. Always choose, like, you don't always have to know everything, like this is what I want to do, but you will have an interest and you'll see yourself driven towards something more than the others. So give it the preference. um Gap, 2 years and all those things, definitely you can say, if you have experience trying out startups, or if you were working with your friends on some ideas, or if there are some self projects, learning projects that you did, or this is the learning that you have done. If you have just learned but not gained any certification, that is okay too, but make sure you're building something out and you have something to talk for, an architecture or a solution or an app or something that you can show for yourself, even if you've not done the certification. So definitely that should not be a problem as long as you're continuously learning. There are a lot of platforms for coding. There's not one I'm going to pinpoint and say this is enough. I'll say start somewhere and try it out as much as you can. Rohit, for your question. um, Logics depend on the problem you have. Critical thinking, continue to solve more and more problems. You will end up solving or drawing the logic for the specific problem on your own. You will feel yourself naturally, you'll see yourself naturally solving problems using logic to address the problems that you're looking at. So reading after like 1 or 2 weeks, 3 days of coding, fourth day you'll automatically see your mind thinking in a problem solving way. You look at the question and the logic will start coming to you automatically, like this is how I'm going to address it, this is what I'm going to do. So just try it out. Like I said, go to Code Studio, try out easy problems for the next 3 days if you are into coding and if you're interested in that, and then see how you start thinking. Um, if you never if you don't experience what I'm saying, you can always ping and share me. That'll be a learning for me, but I'm pretty sure that's how it will be. Backend is mainly for anything that's not transactional, anything that the user is not seeing, or anything that is not the main structure of your application or product. For instance, if you're building let's say a pet clinic app or a clinic app or a doctor's app or something like that, the front end itself, anything that you see on your phone or mobile app or a web app, is the front end, for which you do the user interface. It has the logic, the client side validations and all those scripts and all those things. Backend is anything that has the core business logic, that has the database designed for it, both transactional, analytical, or anything, so on and so forth. The ML visualization. So those things become the backend. So that's the main difference. Yeah, mostly we have answered all the questions. UG, as a passionate programming kid, if you're passionate about programming, choose something that allows you to focus on that for the most part of your day. So that's what I used to do. I started coding when I was in class 9, and I always loved to do ninth standard onwards. I was interested in that. That's when I realized, because that's when I had the opportunity. I had a lab in the school, and we had some subjects. So, and then 11th, 12th, I chose computer science because I didn't want to focus on anything else. And then I chose computer science engineering in my college so that I study only computer science. So I was passionate about it, and that's what I went for. So definitely do that. Can one do development without DSA? I think we've addressed it. DSA is an integral part of development. It is development. So use of Python in industry. Python is another programming language, definitely a very interesting one. A very, if you're a beginner in coding, you Java, for instance, is verbose, right? It's long, it's lengthier. There are certain things that you write in 5 or 10 lines in Java, which you can write in 1 line or 2 lines in Python. So definitely that difference is there, and that's why a lot of people prefer Python the most. If you are a seasoned developer and you like seasoned in the sense like you've done it for a long time and you like certain things in Java, like me, I always get excited with every new release or anything with Spring Boot framework, which is the enterprise edition, the web edition framework for Java. So every new release I get excited. I always focus on that. But I also like Python. It helps me with all the data engineering and data science or ML related programming also. Not that you cannot do anything else, or that you can build your whole application in Python, but I'm just saying depends on your choice. Definitely, uh, we need a whole topic to talk about Java or Python. So um, you can choose it if you're very much interested in crisp coding. We are at time. So we are also at the end of the questions. Let me just take the last three, and then we'll be done. Building projects or competitive programming. Nilesh, you have to do both. What is the scope of coding in future is ChatGPT is here. A lot of, I mean, we have Bard as well, so those things are there. No platform like that will be able to. Like, I'm not saying it's not a possibility. Definitely, there will be solutions built, but end of the day, you have to, as a human person, you have with flesh and blood, you have to take that and make sure that it works for the business logic that you want. It is as innovative as you would be. So you have to incorporate all those things. So yeah, we have come up with a lot of innovations and transformations in the industry, coding and technology all these years. Whenever something new comes, there is always a transition. There's always something great that we can accomplish with it. But end of the day, we have still equipped ourselves and made ourselves ready for what more we can do on top of that. So that's exactly what will happen. So that will be the next big thing too. Like we will learn more, and we'll be able to think beyond what we were thinking so far. So I think it is an opportunity rather than saying that it's all done. um, so yeah, let's stop it here because we are at time too. Most of the questions we have addressed. Feel free to check in with me, not specifically about questions like this alone, but go into the blogs, go into code labs, consider joining Code Vipassana sessions, and reach out to me on my socials if you have further questions. Also, like I said, show your passion for coding. If you are really, by solving some easy problems tonight, go to Code Studio, and that will enable you to join Codekazi as well and come up as the top selected students for your resumes to get submitted or referred in the companies listed. So you get an opportunity to, right? So I would consider that as a something that you accomplished from the session, that you were able to go back home and do some 5 to 10 lines of code, solving some easy problems, right? So that would be really great. And if you're a working professional, consider, if you're looking for a change of track, or if you're looking to move to Google Cloud, definitely check out the blogs I have. There are some code labs also in the code lab section. Try it out. Click that from my abhirami.dev site. There's a code labs link. Try out some of the code labs step by step. It will tell you how to do. Even if you have not done Google Cloud before, that should be a best way to smooth yourself and like launch yourself on ramp into some of the cloud technologies. So I'll stop here, Pratham. We are 4 minutes over time.
Yeah, okay. Thank you, Abhirami, for the beautiful session, and the insights that you have given are amazing. And I believe most of the doubts have been cleared, and I believe we have cleared each and everything. And guys, about this session, about if you have any more questions, you can reach out to Abhirami on LinkedIn. You can just search her name, and she will be on top. And apart from that, I've already shared the link. From there also, you can reach out to her. And about again about the code Kaze, so you can go to the you can see the link in the description. It is has been added and also pinned in the live. So just go register yourself and participate in these kind of events, because they are these kinds of events are really necessary. Even if you are not getting hired, if even if you're not getting any kind of rewards, though you will be getting many things here, but still if you are not getting anything, at least you will be competing with 1 lakh or 2 lakh of students who will be participating in this competition. And it is really necessary. It is not about you are from tier 2 or tier 3 universities. You won't be able to compete with most of the people, most of the students who are from IITs. It's up to you, yeah. So you can go for practicing more and more. You can compete with each and everyone. You can compete with 1 lakh, 2 lakh people, and can see where you actually stand. So here you will be getting two types of results also. So we will be sharing one list of result with you as all India rank, which you will be securing. And apart from that, you will be also getting a result on the basis of the rank you scored in your university. So, for example, if 100 students are participating from your university or from your college, so you will be getting a rank that out of 100 you got this rank. So even the students from different colleges, whether they are coming for second or third, still they will be getting a reward for that also. So that's all from my end, and thank you, Abhirami, for this beautiful session. And I will like to end it here only. So, guys,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thanks, Pratham.